Welcome to Speak for Yourself, a show that won't be deleted anytime soon. Marcel's Wally Emmanuel.
Dog.
Money Green? Is that
Money Green,
That's
baby.
old money, too. Yeah. They start turning blue and new, smaller faces, all this stuff. Anyway, let's talk more money with this new look Lakers, who did a complete overhaul of their roster in the last few days. Russell Westbrook from L.A. Westside, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwight Howard are among the several new players joining LeBron and Anthony Davis. But the moves have come with criticism, since the Lakers' average age is 31 years old. Older than you, Acho. It's the highest in the league, and LeBron clapped back at the critics. Then deleted this tweet. Come on, LeBron. Keep talking about my squad, our personal ages, the way he plays, he stays injured. We're past our time in this league, etc., etc., etc. Do me one favor, please. And I mean, please, keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. Hashtag thank you. Hashtag deleted. So, Acho, you like LeBron calling out critics of the new look Lakers?
I don't, but still, you rarely ever make me feel good about myself on this show.
Stop that.
You don't. I mean, you talk about my suits, you talk about my singleness, you said I needed Botox. I mean, I don't know, the list of
So
things
far, I'm
that
shooting 3 for 3.
You haven't necessarily been wrong.
Okay.
But when you said that the Lakers' average age of their roster is older than me, I finally felt good about myself.
You did?
I'm like, yo, this team is actually old. Like, professional athletes should not be older than the people talking about the professional athletes.
Great point.
So it brings a point, LeBron James. Okay. Yes, you're worthy of the criticism for compiling this roster. And no, I do not like LeBron James tweeting it and then deleting it. Primarily why I don't like it, because he deleted it. Like, if you gonna stand in it, if you gonna say it, then Bron, say it and stand in it. I'm not necessarily as mad at you for your sentiments. However, you're the greatest of all time. What'd you expect? You can't be the greatest of all time. Make sure they sign your homeboy in Carmelo Anthony, who you done went on banana boat rides with. You can't be the greatest of all time. Make sure the team brings in a former league MVP, which I criticized and scrutinized the Brooklyn Nets all last season for doing, having 2 former NBA MVPs on the squad in KD and Harden.
Your point.
You can't be LeBron James, bring back a Dwight Howard, which you just saw leave after y'all won the chip together, and expect to be immune of criticism. So, Bron, what did you expect, big dog? Of course you're going to get criticized for that decision. Here's my thing. The reason I think he deleted it was because he realizes in the event they don't win it all, he just hung a huge sign for people to go back and shoot at him at. Keep talking about my squad, personal ages, the way we plays, he stays injured, we passed our prime in this league, etc., etc., etc. Now when y'all lose, it's like, wait a second, Bron, you was talking all that noise, but in fact, we were right. So thus he deletes it. So he's like, hey, no harm, no foul. Y'all can't come at me. But I hate to sell. LeBron is too great, in all honesty, for this.
Yeah. I was on the fence with this one at first because LeBron James, obviously he has a target on his back because he's so successful. As we know, criticism is the cost of praise, and no one gets praised more than LeBron, and no one gets criticized more than LeBron. So LeBron's just trying to live his fantasy life in reality, and he is living that type of life. But every now and then he stops down to deal with the minions, right? And when he deals with the minions, I want him to come always from a position of greatness and leadership. But he doesn't always do that for me. So this is when I look at this tweet, and at first I'm like, okay, I understand what you're doing, LeBron. They shooting at you. You're going to shoot back. I love it when Kevin Durant does it, the best player in the world. So I love it when you do it, too. The greatest of all time, but not the best right now. But then he deleted it. And then all of a sudden I had to recalculate everything. And I realized, damn, LeBron, was this supposed to be a fun tweet or was this supposed to be real? Because if they are talking trash about your team, trash those who are talking about your team. But then when you delete it, I'm like, so where were you with it? I thought it was all good just a week ago. And now we're looking at this tweet. We can't look at it anymore. It's gone. Takes me to a new place. LeBron, you play an action sport. You can't win that sport with words. Actions, words. Why are you trying to make me in August think about your team gonna win in June next year when it doesn't matter? And who knows it better than me? LeBron's won 4 championships. Do you win championships in August? Do you win them on Twitter? Do you win them when you delete tweets? You don't do anything there. So I understand he has this massive audience that wants to know what he's eating when it's not Taco Tuesday. What are he doing on every other day? But damn, LeBron, like you said, say it with your chest or don't say it at all. Don't be on the fence.
Here's the other thing, though. Bron, you know, Sal, you've taught me this, I think. You taught me this and some other people. They say, like, don't pollute your platform.
Ooh.
I got told that. They said, don't pollute your platform.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Your boy is trying to make this little climb in this industry. I'm out here.
Oh, it's a big old climb.
And every now and then, bro, I got minions myself. Now, I don't have the plethora that LeBron does, but I got minions myself. But still, I'm human. I'm human. I try to be a nice guy. I try to be a kind guy. You know, your boy, your man, a lot. Y'all try to be having these uncomfortable but yet comfortable conversations with people. But I got minions, Sel, so what do? I be firing off on them, off on them. Then I think one day I'm rapping with you and you like, hey, Acho, don't pollute your platform because the conversation is beneath you. The people may not be, but the conversation, the commentary is beneath you. LeBron James, just about all conversation and all commentary on social media is beneath you.
Yeah.
So don't pollute your platform. Keep that same narrative, energy when it begins. LeBron, that's something that like Kuzma would tweet. Be real. Like with all this respect, that's something that Kuzma would tweet. Hey, y'all keep that same energy. LeBron, you're the greatest or the second greatest of all time. What energy?
Yeah.
Like,
why? Why? Like Kuzma and Valet on Melrose, I get it. That's what he shoot off right there. But LeBron, you got Savannah right here. You got Bronny Braun right there. You got all the kids right there. Why do you stop down from being the amazing father and husband to log on and then take time? Look, I've been there before when you on the gram or you on Twitter and your kids staring at you with the death stare like, hey, bro, I don't know who you talking to that don't love you, but I'm right here needing you. But this is what makes it worse. You can do that. I understand you need some me time. LeBron got to speak to the masses. But then you got to go again and log back in because it's time to delete. And now LeBron like, look, bro, we got problems. Stay here with us unless you're going to do something that is going to promote your brand and is going to push you forward. Like you said, don't pollute your brand. LeBron, so many people look up to LeBron, and I respect those people that do. I don't look up to anybody. I don't believe in idolatry like that. I just think that stars are only in the sky. He's just way more famous and way more rich than most of us. I give him that. But then when he comes to this point where he realizes who he is, which happened many years ago, I just don't understand the sensitivity. And it's not just with the Lakers. It's with his movie that came out that I still haven't seen. But hey, don't feel bad, Bron. I ain't seen the first one either, Jordan. So, but the point is, he had this tweet. Remember this one? What was this? Hi, haters. Like, LeBron, I'm going to tell you something, LeBron, and it's going to sound weird coming from me, I guess, because I'm a minion to you. Shouldn't be, though. Here's the thing, LeBron. Count those with you, not against you. Your movie broke records. Broke records. Now, think about it. If you didn't know what the movie did in terms of sales, you see Hi Haters, you think his movie is suspect. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people love it. Instead of LeBron just accepting the records he broke and pushing the positive of his movie, which is you're a basketball player active that has a movie out, which is amazing. But everybody always wants to stop down for the few, the minions that don't follow you, that don't agree with you, that don't support you. I just don't get it.
Okay, let's go. We done spent 8 minutes talking this hoops. Now it's time to go sociology.
Let's go.
So I think the toughest thing for the likes of LeBron, the likes of Kevin Durant, the likes of other superstars, even TV personalities on other networks that, you know, call college football games. The likes of those people is they're still human.
Okay.
Regardless of the level they ascend to, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, other lead analysts on other networks that call college football games, they're still human. And so they do stop down because as a human, somebody shoots, you shoot back. Somebody clowns you, you clown them back. Even if you make more money, you got a bigger platform, you have millions of followers, you're still cognizant of the fact of like, you're not immune to that jab. And so I understand why LeBron would hit him with a hi haters. I even understand why LeBron would tweet his keep talking about my squad, our ages. Because while to me and you, it's like, LeBron, these people are completely irrelevant to your life and the success of your life. You're still human. And you don't want to live in this bubble where everybody now has become irrelevant to you. Because that that's the dichotomy I'm wrestling with, and you would counsel me through during commercial breaks, on the show, off the show.
Yeah, because you won't hang with me. If we have dinner, you'll be through this
Headed to the green room. It's like, do you get to a point in life? Does LeBron get to a point in life where he's just like, everyone else is a peon to me, so I'm not even going to acknowledge their words or the existence of their words? Or does he still try to be human and interact with people and silence those that doubt him? It's tough.
Okay, it is tough, but success is tougher. And he is highly successful. So he knows when he wants to take the higher road, the path of least resistance, the most efficient way to success. And he also knows when he's getting in his own way or allowing others to get in his way. Let me give it to you like this. 2 ways. They always say that hit dogs holler. So when someone says some criticism of you, you respond just because there's an ounce of truth, if not more, right? That's not the only reason dogs holler. Throw something at a dog and don't hit him. That dog's still mad at you. Hey, bro, what the hell you thought? You know? So I understand LeBron is protective of his image, his brand. He doesn't like all of this negativity when he's like, I do nothing but positive. I understand that. But here's the thing you got to understand more so than those who are shooting at you. You're running a race. And what's the world record in the 400? 43.03.
Oh, okay.
What's the world record in the 400 hurdles?
45.94 now.
45.94.
Yeah, 45.94. Yep.
You know why there's a difference? Because there's hurdles. Now, if you're running a race and your higher power, the greatest version of you, is sitting there saying, run the fastest, most efficient, most peaceful, most beautiful race. Are you going to choose the open or are you going to choose the hurdles?
Understand.
You're choosing the open. Why? Because you don't want hurdles in your way. But life presents hurdles. That's fine. But why would you ever tell someone on the side, hey, put more hurdles there or allow them to be the hurdle? You're inviting them in your path when they don't even need to be there. I don't know where their words have that much power. But all I know is it's slowing you down and it slows LeBron's brand down for always jumping these hurdles.
I like that. My dog's phenomenal take. It's a phenomenal take. Here is where I'm trying to dance within the room of that take. Along the lines of you telling me don't let someone pollute your brand. Earlier that day, I was being counseled by another individual, and they said something to me, and my brain, just light bulb went off. And all they said was this: would Oprah respond? That's all I told them. I'd responded to some people, and they were simply like, would Oprah respond? They're like, you're on the track. You done written 2 books with her. We were a partner. Like, would she respond? I'm like, you got me.
Got you.
Because she wouldn't. But while you've been talking the last 2 minutes, I've realized the difference, or at least the disconnect. LeBron James came to the league 2003. If I'm not mistaken, Twitter founded, it was later, 6, 7, 8, something like that. So LeBron has lived the prime of his career, the majority of his basketball career, with social media. He really knows no other way than social media. LeBron has always been on social. LeBron, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, now the Snapchats of the world, our new age stars have been on social media. And so they know no race without hurdles. So what you were essentially telling LeBron to do is, hey, big dog, this track that has hurdles on it, which you are most familiar with, hey, go out to this practice track. There's no hurdles over there. But LeBron is only used to this figurative track with hurdles. So you're making the best point of, hey, big dog, run a race without hurdles. But he's like, I don't know that race. I only know this race. So I only bring that up because people did say, well, would Oprah respond? And I'm like, you're right, she wouldn't. But Oprah lived the majority of her career without social media. Denzel's not on social media. Michael B. Jordan is, but Denzel's not. So I think there's a disconnect between our modern stars and our OGs.
You're right, but we're going to talk later about Sydney McLaughlin, who is a youngster with an OG mindset.
That's real, talk about it.
So we'll get there later. But look, I can't give you all of that. Amazing take. Let me just say that first. Get that on record. However, LeBron's impressionable years, the young years, moving around all through Akron and get high school, this is all pre-social media stuff, right? And there was a little John in the gym giggling, trying to holler at LeBron's girl, Savannah. You know what I mean? Just like, he ain't gonna make the league. Talking about he gonna be first all, he ain't gonna be number 1 pick. He ain't gonna skip college. You can't play sports and not hear cheers and boos. Any athlete, I don't care when you were born, where you were born, has heard 2 things. Cheers and boos. I remember from my road, my path up, people were looking at me like, bruh, I don't know. And then they were like, damn, he is good. Then I went to Columbia, and everyone jumped off the boat. They're like, well, he gonna be a nerd, CEO, something, but he ain't going to the league. And then all of a sudden, draft day, Wiley made it. The point is, we all know what that looks like. We know what that sounds like, but we're athletes. We get to choose our path because we get to choose our direction when we're on the field. And the field is not just the game or the court. It's also the game of life. And I don't understand, why do people want to run into barriers? Barry Sanders was like, look, put anything in front of me, I'm going to get it around it. But he never looked for contact, right? Y'all be looking for contact and then be wondering why after the game you're having all these damn bruises. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers says his relationship with the GM is a work in progress. That's interesting. I'll tell you how we feel about that comment. But first, Hall of Fame game is tonight, so I got to hurry up and take the private jet out there because I'm getting inducted tonight. We'll tell you if the Cowboys are clearly the best team in the NFC East. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Thank you, Bron.
Tonight on Fox, the NFL is back as the Steelers battle the Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game. All the action is on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Now it's time for Rewarding Performance, brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And speaking of the Cowboys, Dak Prescott will sit out with his strained right shoulder, but that does not mean expectations are not high in Dallas. Cowboys trying to shake off missing the playoffs for 2 straight seasons and finishing 3rd in the division last year. So Marcellus Wiley, the former Cowboy,
yes, sir,
and the Cowboys clearly the best team in the NFC East.
Clearly, yes, they are clearly the best team in the NFC East. Say it correctly, though, NFC least, we already know. Like, this is not the situation where you want to praise yourself for how high you jump, but how low the bar is in terms of that the Cowboys have to achieve to win this division, which they will win this division. 7 wins won this division last year. So the Cowboys, with their talent and the fact that it's all going to add up this year. Why? Because they've went through the adversity. Mike McCarthy is taking his lumps as the Dallas Cowboys head coach, Super Bowl winning head coach, I will remind you, and respect on his name. You look at Dak Prescott and his injury last year and how that undermined everything that the Cowboys wanted to do it. Now, I know there's some conversation about, hey, they didn't look like they were amazing even with Dak Prescott. But Dak Prescott was on an NFL historic pace in terms of the numbers. So if you add it all up, this looks like a team that has taken its lumps that is kind of similar to a couple of teams. As you always say, rock with me on this one. There were 2 teams last year that had great records. One of them won it all, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the other one had a 12-4 record, Pittsburgh Steelers. I remind people, the year before, they had some issues at the quarterback position. Injury to Ben Roethlisberger, and they had the wrong quarterback, a different quarterback in Tampa Bay with Jameis Winston versus Tom Brady. You fast forward 1 year, changes at the quarterback position is the only thing we saw. Simple as that. And look at those teams. One was 11-0, finished 12-4, playoff team, won one of the toughest, if not toughest, divisions in football. The other one just won it all. So I'm looking at the Cowboys as being the meat in that sandwich of bread between winning it all or just being a team that wins their division and gets into the playoffs, and let's see what happens. We have a chance in the dance. Cowboys clearly the best team in NFC least, and they're going to demonstrate it this year.
So I'm not convinced that the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC East. But when you add the word clearly, now it's a definitive no.
Oh,
As
really?
soon as you ask me, are they clearly the best team? I'm convinced that they are not clearly the best team. Do they have the best roster? Yes.
All right.
Do they have the most talent? Yes. But I think what we have learned from the Olympics, which is just the highest level of sports in the world, it don't matter just how good your talent is. Don't matter how good your roster is. How well do you utilize the talent and the roster that you have? Cowboys, to me, don't do a great job of doing that. Cowboys have had the best roster since Dak Prescott came into the league. If you're a believer at home or you sell that Dak Prescott was or is greater than Carson Wentz, then since 2016, the Cowboys have had the best roster in the NFC East. Giants haven't had a quarterback since 2016, not a competent quarterback. Washington hasn't really had a quarterback or a competent quarterback since 2016 as their starter consistently. So if Dak has always been better to you than Wentz, then Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have been the most talented team since 2016. But they've only won the division twice in those 5 years. So it's not as though we haven't seen talented Cowboys teams come up short. This talented Cowboys team, again, could come up short. That's why if you ask me clearly, it's not clearly who is the orchestrator. It's the head coach. I like Ron Rivera over I like Mike McCarthy.
Really?
I do. I genuinely do.
You want to look at their fingers? You want to see
You can look at them, and you can look at that ring.
Okay.
Mike McCarthy also got his ring
one
with
as a player.
Mike McCarthy has coached Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and only has one to show for it. Anyway, I like Ron Rivera. I like Washington's defense. But if you really want to get to the nitty-gritty of it all, The Cowboys have a dilemma because of the talent. I know what you say. I made too much talent. It can't be a problem.
Nope.
Look at the Cowboys starting defense right now. They came out with the depth chart, Sal. How many players are on a football field? I know you got a full screen.
On the football field?
How many players on a defense?
Oh, 11.
Cowboys starting depth chart lists 12. Make that make sense. You
Somebody in marketing, PR.
The issue is this.
What?
Leighton Vander Esch, former first-round pick. He's listed as a starter. Micah Parsons, current first-round pick, he's listed as a starter.
Yeah.
They both not going to start. The Cowboys have these types of issues and dilemmas, both for good or for bad, littered across the depth chart. And on my second lap, I'll tell you just why it's going to be an issue.
Oh, man, I got to poke holes in your argument. That means it's a good argument if I got to poke holes. Think how big your argument is. I only got a couple things to say. Kirk Cousins was a competent quarterback. And if you don't think he is, check his bank statements. The sucker has made the most money in the NFL since 2016. I think he's competent. Also, the Olympics is not the highest level of competition. Do not do that.
What is?
First of all, most Olympians are in fall-down sports. See, I don't lie about anything. Nobody in their mind.
What's a fall-down
sport is they couldn't do the one I really wanted to do, so I'm going to fall down to this one. Okay? Nobody in their right mind ever said, I want to run track for a living. You know what happens? Track says you better run track. That's the only option you got. They try to play football, basketball, baseball like the rest of us. You ain't. This is not that hard. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going to let that live. We'll talk deeper about that later. Here's the thing that I want you to understand about what talent. Talent gives you the potential. Now, you keep talking about kinetic energy. You keep talking about what's happening in action. But it starts with potential energy. I just want the capacity. We'll figure out the right formula and make it work. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are. They're in the process right now, and I know you and I differ in terms of patience through a process. But what is the record of Dak Prescott, since you want to talk about him in not so glowing fashion, in the NFC East since he's been a starter? 19-6. But he lost 3 games as a rookie, so 16-3. I mean, not cook. 16-3. Point being, Dak Prescott owns the NFC East when healthy. This year, hopefully he's healthy. I'm having a conversation, obviously prefaced with good health. More importantly, you got to look at the Dallas Cowboys, not about administrative issues. Hey, I told somebody 11 names, they put 12 down. That's not a reason why they won't win a division, because somebody doesn't know how to check and word check. It's about the fact that this is a team that is better than the opponents. You want to look at their opponents? Here we go. The Washington football team. You think they're going to do it with Ryan Fitzpatrick? He always gives. If he doesn't start fast, he's going to find a stretch where you're going to think he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. But he won't finish that way. Oh, Taylor Heineke, that's where you're going to hang your hat on. Oh, go ahead. Daniel Jones. I like Daniel Jones. What'd you call him, his nickname?
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes. Damn it, I love that dude, but that ain't enough. Mike Glennon? Oh, okay, whatever. Jalen Hurts. Love him too. But Jalen Hurts right now doesn't seem like he has the full support yet of that organization. A lot of it is growing, but not full support. Plus, he doesn't have the weapons necessary. You add all that up, what's the best quarterback in that division?
Dak.
Okay, what's the best team in that division?
Most talented team is the Cowboys.
Injuries last year doesn't count. So before that, they won 2, they lost 2. What's the best team in that division? Come on, man, we can't make this hard on ourselves. This is a simple conversation. They stay healthy, they win that division.
I wish it were so simple. Well, here's why it's not. The first reason is we got to figure out how are the allocation of their finances going to play out on the field? First question. We all got to figure that one out. Ezekiel Elliott's a $95 million, 26-year-old running back.
Okay.
But Amari Cooper's a $100 million, 27-year-old receiver. Dak Prescott is a $160 million quarterback. How are the allocation of finances going to play out? What y'all don't realize at home is the best players don't play. The highest paid players play.
Ooh,
now, typically, the highest paid players are the best players, but there are a couple exceptions scattered throughout the league where the best player on the roster isn't actually playing. It's the highest paid player. Forever, the most incredible thing that Pete Carroll has done in his NFL career is choosing to start rookie $400,000 quarterback Russell Wilson over Matt Flynn. That is the most impressive thing Pete Carroll has ever done. Ask anybody who's played in the league.
Yes.
Because Matt Flynn had to start. Had to start. He was getting paid too much money. He had to start.
Yes.
But Pete Carroll was like, you know what? I don't care how much you're making. So just note that, put a pin in that, remember that at home. With that being said, Cowboys, how they gonna allocate it, Sal? I mean, I gotta feed Zeke, because he's a $95 million guy. I got to feed Amari. He's $100 million. Man, I got to feed CeeDee Lamb. He's a first-round pick. Whatever's done, Dak has to be the one to do it because he's making $160. I don't know how the allocation will play out. But lastly, Cowboys have only won the division 3 times in the last 11 years. I refuse to believe that the Cowboys have only had the best team 3 times in the last 11 years. So if they've only won the division 3 times in the last 11 years, there's a disconnect between them having the most talent and them winning the most games in the division. There's a disconnect there. You're right, they got the most talent. But there's a disconnect between talent and team.
Don't do that to Dak, because 2 of those 3 wins in the division are his.
Of course.
And if you go 11 years back, he was in junior high or something. Like, that ain't to Dak's credit. This is something to Dak's credit, 19-6 in the division, as I said before. But your conversation just continues to stretch, continues to evolve beyond this question. He's 23-21 against other opponents. We can have a conversation all day. Can they win it all? But they gonna win this division. Be real. Let's talk about the offenses last year without Dak. Without Dak. Acho, without Dak. You know the Cowboys were ranked 17th in points? Now, you sitting there, I know you're like, that ain't helping your point, Marcellus. Oh, yes, it is. You know what the Giants are ranked? 31st. Philly, 26th. Washington, 25th. That division is sorry. Yards per game, 14th. Once again, you're like, that ain't helping your argument. Yeah, it is. 31st, 24th, 30th opponents in the division. Dallas, money down, 3rd down, 19th. Everybody else, 29th, 28th, 23rd. Dog, they stay healthy. This is scrap. This is bait. This is easy. Coming up, we're heading to the track right now where I said everybody's a fall-down player. But U.S. star Sydney McLaughlin won gold while staying off social media. Did y'all hear that? She stayed off social media. We'll have a lot to say about that next on Speak for Yourself. Let's head to Tokyo, where U.S. star Sydney McLaughlin broke her own world record in the 400-meter hurdles Wednesday. Winning a gold medal in the process, McLaughlin talked about how she tuned out the outside noise during the Olympics, saying, quote, "A lot of that is outside things I can't control, and I just tried to minimize. I stayed off social media, stayed in my room, talked to friends and family, and stuck to what I knew." Simple. So, Acho, what's your reaction to Sydney McLaughlin and staying away from social media during the Olympics?
I think Sydney McLaughlin's genius. I think Sydney McLaughlin is brilliant. I will start by saying this. Jealousy will have people hating on someone they should be learning from. I heard that recently.
I saw that.
Jealousy will have you hating on somebody you should be learning from. So let's learn from Sydney. Let's not be jealous of Sydney. Sydney McLaughlin, a 21-year-old world record-holding young black woman who is dominant in her field.
Let's go.
She went out, she had an objective. She had a goal, if you will, to win a gold medal. We've also seen young, dominant women have similar objectives. Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast of all time, 24 years young, still learning. Naomi Osaka, one of the greatest tennis players playing right now, 23 years young, dominant, incredible athlete. Sha'Carri Richardson, 21 years young, the greatest American sprinter this year, dominant, incredible athletes. Sha'Carri, 21, Naomi, 23, Simone, 24. Then there's Sydney McLaughlin, who is just 21. Sha'Carri, Naomi, Simone, they all had the goal of getting a gold medal at this year's Olympics. They all verbalized that either publicly or they verbalized it internally. Sydney McLaughlin also had the goal, but only one of them achieved that goal. So, Sel, if I share a goal with 3 other people and I, along with 2 other people, fall short, but one person succeeds, the question now is this: what did they do that I didn't? What can I learn from them? Because I'm not gonna let jealousy cause me to hate on somebody I should be learning from. So what could I learn from Sydney? Well, what did Sydney say that she did? She stayed off social media. We all know for a fact that our other young superstars didn't necessarily do that. We know that Sha'Carri, we know that Naomi, we know that Simone didn't necessarily do what Sydney McLaughlin did. Remember, Sydney McLaughlin went to the Olympics at 16, 5 years ago. So Sydney McLaughlin has been the top of her sport. Sydney McLaughlin has national sponsorships, tag her watch, just like Naomi has national sponsorships. Sydney McLaughlin has a plethora of followers on social media, just like all these other young, brilliant women. But Sydney McLaughlin got the gold where others wanted to get the gold and did not get the gold. So what was the difference? She stayed off social media. I don't know if staying off social media guarantees you success, but being off social media appeared to guarantee failure for the others. So my biggest takeaway is learn from what Sydney McLaughlin did, and in the heat of the battle, maybe just stay off social media.
Man. Osmosis, brother. We are rubbing off on each other because people don't understand. We do not discuss what we're going to say out here. And no matter what you say, speak for yourself. I'm going to respect it. People have to understand about me that I am a person that when I disrespect, I do it respectfully. Because I just disagree with you, really. I don't care that deeply. I know what I want to subscribe to in culture and mindset, and I understand what you're going to show me through actions and through conversation. So I love that what you just said. Now I'm going to echo it, and then I'm also going to say it in my own way. This is so refreshing to see Sydney show this level of maturity, clarity, and discernment at this young age. She kept her eyes on the prize, brother. Seriously. And she knew that her discipline, her actions, her words, everything had to be in alignment so that she could attain that same prize. Unfortunately, you listed a few names, Naomi, Simone, Sha'Carri, took their eyes off that prize for different reasons, and different things were circumstantial that made them see differently. Sydney is amazing because Sydney had some of the same obstacles, and she decided to keep her eyes on the prize. This is who the machine should get behind, Sydney. This is who the machine needs to get behind. Why? Because it's not just about the performer or the performances. It's about the principles. Someone who could really represent for you. Someone who could truly be an ambassador for you. Someone who shows that professionalism that I'm respecting, like Sydney McLaughlin. I don't want to contrast her and compare her necessarily to them, but I just want to show what the actions can lead you to that is going to be different than their responses. Woo, she talks about her circle of influence, like her circle of concern, the people she cares most about, the people that's going to really prop her up, because she knows what social media is. It's the place where people go and displace their inadequacies. Mm-hmm. It's just, I'm going to be this fresh today, and I'm here, and then I'm going to be this mad, so I'm going to take it out on you. And it's just the jungle. And then it's so funny, people try to walk through the jungle looking for nice, tame lions. It's the jungle. Ain't nobody out there really loving you. That's why there's not a love button. It's a like button. We like you until you say something we don't agree with, and then we're going to either tell you we unfollow you or we just going to unfollow you. And Sydney, I ain't running that race. I'm running a race to win a gold medal and set a world record in the 400-meter hurdles. How in the hell telling the world what I eat, what I'm wearing today, how my nails look, how long my hair is going to help me hop over these hurdles and get that world record again? So the beautiful thing about Sydney is someone has grounded her, someone has reared her, or she just has attained it herself where she's like, look, that's where I want to go, and the path of least resistance is staying right in front of that and in tune with that. Oh, so many people want to resist temptation. They say the only way to resist temptation is to avoid it. And she is genius, like you said, for doing this. So applause to Sydney McLaughlin, because she's showing it's not just demographic. It's not just age-based. It's not just based on any of those criteria that everyone's trying to say. It's based on if you really want it, be greater than your greatest excuse.
Yes, sir. And let me make it abundantly clear that this is not pitting one person up against another person.
Yeah.
What this is doing is saying, what can we all learn from Sydney McLaughlin? Mm-hmm. But if I most closely fit in just about every demographic bucket as Sydney McLaughlin, then what can I specifically learn from Sydney McLaughlin? When I played linebacker in the league, I tried to study other great linebackers.
Facts.
Much greater than I. Luke Kuechly, we came out together. What's he out here doing? Bobby Wagner, future Hall of Famer. We came out together in the NFL draft. What's he out here doing? Dante Hightower, probably a future Hall of Famer. We came out together. What's he out here doing? Let me study his work so I can improve myself.
Yeah.
In the same manner, I encourage our young athletes, particularly our young athletes that are women, our young athletes that are black women, that all have to face probably the same set of circumstances, generally speaking, outside of your own personal circumstances. Study Sydney and figure out, how did she do what I could not do? Sell, if you, I, and two others created a lemonade stand and mine went bankrupt, yours went bankrupt, John's went bankrupt, but Peter's sold his and turned it into an incredibly profitable business. You want to know what we should do? Ask this figurative individual named Peter, hey, big dog, what did you do that we all did not do that made you successful? And in the same breath, I think everybody needs to look at Sydney McLaughlin and say, hey, what did you do that we all did not do that made you successful? On the next lap, though, I got a question for you to get into a bigger dialogue.
Okay, I just had a conversation with somebody who is a big name, way bigger than mine. Not yours necessarily, but on your level. And I'm not going to say his name just because I didn't get permission to say this conversation. It can make him look a little different. He said, what's wrong with people today? We were talking about, like, why so many people get in their own way in terms of their own success. And he's huge, big time. And he said, you know why? Because most people want attention or credit. And he said, that's what undermines them in terms of getting there all the way. And I was like, break that down. And now I don't need him to break that down. Because I can see what's going on. I can see these youngsters out there, when all of a sudden they pop, they want so much attention. And they want all the credit to come to them. And then notice what they all do?
Talk about it.
All of a sudden they say, this burden of expectation is so heavy. And I'm like, wait a minute. My grandma told me a long time ago, you can't call for attention, baby, and hang up. Once you call for attention, that phone is on. So I try to caution these kids, watch what you try to take on, because it's going to hit back. And they all do it. And that dude broke that down to me, and I want to say, dude, you know who you are. We're going to talk about this now because we got more examples. Here's the thing. Sydney also made a comparison that I just made with the LA Chargers a couple of weeks ago. She was talking about inputs and outputs. Like, what do you plug into? She plugged into her family and friends. She plugged into her circle of influence, her circle of concern, which is small, smart. I'm a former DJ. Why I say former? Because I really used to DJ. Now I just play songs. I used to DJ concerts, festivals, Super Bowls, everything. Kanye, Outkast, you name it. I was back there doing this. And one thing I noticed when I was doing the bigger events versus me at the crib was the soundboard. Anybody ever been to any big concert? Check out the soundboard. It goes from stadium sideline to stadium sideline, and it's nothing but all of these knobs. And what it is just inputs, 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 all of these components out there. And then, this is why this is a great parallel to this situation. Think about it in terms of mental health. Input, social media, what this person said, what they doing, my friends, my family, all inputs, right? The longer the soundboard, the more channels on the soundboard, the more inputs, the more difficult, the more genius you have to be in engineering the perfect sound. If you want to be in harmony, sound great, have it all perfectly in tune, oh, brother, with all those inputs, you're going to have to work some knobs. And everyone thinks max them all out. That's the worst sound. Pull them all down. That's the worst sound. It's up, down, here, tweak, tweak, tweak. Problem is, everybody at home, especially these kids, are putting in so many things and not tuning it properly. So then they hear noise. They're not hearing that sweet sound they're supposed to hear like you do when you go to that concert. Sydney said, unplug, 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 unplug. Only 3 channels? Oh, I could do that. Bass, mid, treble. It's not that hard. Please, people, understand this. Unplug, and then maybe it will be calmer in here.
Oh, that was such a good take.
I'll take it.
That was such a good take.
I'll take it. We got one more lap.
Here's the question.
Okay.
Here's the question.
Okay.
You can't call for attention and hang up.
You can't.
You can't do it.
Come on, bro.
But you have to ask yourself, I've had to ask myself, what is the ultimate win here? Sydney does, in fact, have a gold medal and a world record. And currently, she is the only one of those other 3 athletes that achieved her maximal Olympic athletic success. Emphasis on the word athletic. For those at home that are saying, well, someone mentally. I understand that. Sydney achieved the athletic maximal success. She's the only one that actually took home an individual gold medal. But was that the biggest take home?
Here we go. I know.
Think about it,
Here we go. All right.
A month ago, Sha'Carri Richardson only had 300 Instagram followers. Sha'Carri Richardson wasn't in a Beats by Dre commercial. Sha'Carri Richardson wasn't in a Beats by Dre commercial, which had a Kanye West song that hadn't even been released yet on the commercial. Sha'Carri Richardson didn't have 2 million Instagram followers, which she now has, been tweeted at by the likes of Michelle Obama, Diddy, Patrick Mahomes, Gabrielle Union, etc. Naomi Osaka, 2 months ago, she didn't have a Netflix series out. She hadn't been on the cover of Time magazine, hadn't been on the cover of Vogue. Simone Biles, I don't know where her social media following was prior to the last week, but I know it was not exactly where it is now. Now, Sydney McLaughlin does have a thriving social media following. It's this day and age, y'all. This is how we got to measure some things, by social media. She has her 860,000 followers or so, but she has the medal. So the question truly becomes,
let's go.
What is the real win?
Yeah.
Because The gold medal's a real win athletically, but I said this all along. Sha'Carri didn't take a L, y'all. Because if Sha'Carri simply wins gold and doesn't get disqualified because of the positive test for weed, I don't know if she's in a Beats by Dre commercial. We ain't seen no other track and field athlete in a Beats by Dre commercial partnering with Kanye West. So was that a bigger win than had she gone to the Olympics and gotten silver or gotten bronze? Naomi Osaka, she's revolutionized the industry right now, captivated all of our eyes. Was that a bigger win than maybe had she won gold at the Olympics? Simone Biles, he has everybody, not everybody, but a large amount of the world pouring out support, empathy, etc. Was that a bigger win maybe than pulling home more gold medals like Sydney McLaughlin did? I think that's truly the nuanced aspect of this conversation.
Yes, it really is. And let's talk about that. I don't know how much time we got. It says, yeah, they just added some time. Good for that. What you're talking about is brand building and failure. How do you fail forward? I think Colin Kaepernick was the first in this demographic of athlete, kind of compromised on the field, and all of a sudden, how can I promote this into something greater, and how can I also benefit off of something greater? Now, I don't know if he was calculated or not. I've talked to his mentor, and I've watched him from a distance, and I knew him, obviously, before all that. But I do know what we're talking about, a phenomenon. We're talking about people who are not necessarily all of a sudden reaching their full potential in the endeavor we know of for, but they become bigger in celebrity in other ways. You're right. Kaepernick is bigger than ever than throwing touchdowns. Like, right? Respect. Sherry got bigger by getting disqualified, which is weird. Sha'Carri did. Interesting. Naomi didn't finish the French Open, got to the Olympics, couldn't even get out the third round, and is continuing to snowball in success in other ways. But in terms of her on the court, she's not #1 ranked anymore. Like, she's going down that hill and still building a bigger brand. You look at Sydney, she's the anomaly. She's actually doing what we know her for and what she's supposed to do, and is still building that brand. So this takes me back to childhood. Did I leave anybody out? Simone Biles. Well, she's the GOAT, but it's hard to be greater than the GOAT, but third place ain't GOAT. Jumping out of a couple of events, not GOAT. Quitting on your team's not GOAT, but she's coming from such heavens and heights. Let's talk about this. I used to talk about this when I was little, because I saw a lot of drug dealers and gangbangers, and I saw a lot of popular kids, and I saw a lot of people winning in high school. And I was like, damn, you know what? I'm not going to hate these people, because everybody wins. It's just, what race do you want to win? I used to, no lie, I never have jealousy. Why? Because I'm like, that's the race you want to win. My boys who wanted to be popular became popular. What'd that get you at the end? Like, some of these things are cul-de-sacs. Like, you're running somewhere, and everybody think, damn, chill, they coming back. They coming back. Because think about it. If Sha'Carri doesn't win, how long are we going to be loving the hair and the nails? My coach used to say it just like this. Don't come to practice on a red carpet. And he wasn't talking physically. He was talking mentally. Oh, you letting the brand lead you here? Trust me, they going to turn over a new player, a new person that's going to win and build a brand. Sydney McLaughlin. Now, look out in other sports. Other people who are buying into this, like, it don't matter as long as I pop off. Someone is going to do what you are not doing, which is win, and they going to pop off even greater. We'll see how it adds up, but thank you, Sydney, for having the OG mindset of doing it the right way. Coming up, former Packer Greg Jennings will help us get to the bottom of Aaron Rodgers' work-in-progress comments about his GM. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Aaron Rodgers praised his teammates and the city of Green Bay when he came back last week. He even said the lines of communication between him and Matt LaFleur are fantastic. As far as the relationship between him and GM Brian Gutekunst, take a listen to Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's a work in progress for sure. I mean, I think, relationships aren't formed in a matter of a couple days. There's time where the respect grows and the communication follows. We've had a couple conversations and been positive conversations.
Joined now by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings, and he's a former Packer and champion and friend of Aaron Rodgers. But Acho, how do you feel about Aaron Rodgers' work-in-progress comments?
Man, I look at it and I feel about it like this. A work in progress, you only progress if you do the work. Ooh. And I don't see Aaron Rodgers and Brian Gutekunst actually doing the work to progress. So it being a work in progress is actually void, because Neither of them gonna do the
Talk
work.
to us, Acho.
Man, that's what it comes down to, G, and you're going to know this better than I will, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. But Aaron Rodgers realizes this relationship has irreconcilable differences, and if it has irreconcilable differences, there's really no point in trying to reconcile something that is irreconcilable. Sal, you've been in this situation, I'm sure we all have. There comes a point in time where you realize a relationship with someone is going to end. It could be a friend, it could be a significant other. They do something to upset you. You think to get upset, but rather than wasting your energy, you like, you know what? This gonna end anyway, so I'm not even gonna sit here and bother wasting my time getting upset with you. Aaron Rodgers realizes he has one more year as a Green Bay Packer. Technically, contractually, he has 2. But at the end of this year, Aaron Rodgers realizes Packers gonna trade him because they are not going to play out the second year of his 2-year deal and let him walk freely and get nothing in return for Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers realizes at the culmination of this season, he will be traded so at least the Packers can get something of value for Aaron Rodgers as opposed to Aaron Rodgers walking as a free agent and getting nothing in return for him. So he's sitting there thinking to himself, why would I even work so that we can progress? The relationship is a work in progress, sir, but there will be no work, so we shall see no progress.
Man, nailed that.
Ding, 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 ding,
Say
ding.
it,
You
nailed that.
hit it right on the head, Acho.
Boy.
This is the words that he chose to use, the relationship being a work in progress. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Acho, but a couple of things I want people to understand. He said in his presser, like, relationships aren't formed in a couple of days. Well, for all of you who don't know how long Brian Gutekunst has been within the organization, he's been there since 1998. So in different various roles, scouting being one of the most important ones, and then director of personnel and all of those different things, general manager since 2018. Aaron Rodgers has been there. That's not a couple of days. Aaron Rodgers is very mindful of who's in the building and how to direct and how to strike relationships, and knows who he wants to strike a relationship with. He's never cared to do that. He's never cared to do it. And so why, like you say, Acho, it's irreconcilable. Like, I don't even care really, but I'm going to save face. I'm a true professional, so I'm going to have conversation. I'm going to make sure that we are going to pursue this goal as Super Bowl champions, hopefully alongside of everyone else who's in that locker room, as if we can put our differences aside. That's what being a professional is all about. But he has no desire to reconcile anything with Brian Gutekunst. He doesn't have any desire to strike a relationship. When you look at and listen to his words, he says, like, relationships aren't formed in a couple of days. Again, he's known Brian Gutekunst has been there since Aaron Rodgers was drafted at Green Bay Packers. So that lets me know I didn't care for you so much then, and I sure don't care for you any much now.
Okay. Man, I'm not arguing with either one of your takes because I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think there is some room for some reasonable doubt of your takes. So let me give you the contrast to your takes. I actually liked Aaron Rodgers saying this because he was being nice. And I also respected Aaron Rodgers for saying this because at least he says something along the lines of mending the fence. Okay, I respect that because it certainly beats the alternative. Imagine Aaron Rodgers right now, we have a soundbite that says, man, I don't mess with that dude. Then we will be sitting there without conversation, without us criticizing, without us saying anything contrasting it. We would just be like taking it for face value. Like, damn, Aaron Rodgers don't mess with dude, right? And we will believe him. However, when you say something nice, all of a sudden we question the sincerity, how genuine you are. It sounds disingenuous, etc., which is interesting. It takes me back home with my little babies, my little kids. Look, every single night my kids want ice cream. And here's the funny thing about it. When I say yes, phew, all I see is smoke and wind because they getting that ice cream. But when I say no, they still standing there. Like, what? They don't believe me. They don't. What, Daddy? What you mean? What you mean? Why not? Please, and change their voices, looking different, lip on the ground. And here's the thing: Aaron Rodgers says something nice. Why we just don't believe him? He says something mean. We believe that. And so I'm looking at this situation. Yeah, he told on himself. You're right, Greg. Gutekunst's been there too damn long for Aaron Rodgers to be acting like, yeah, we're gonna start building this friendship right now. But they haven't had this public beef. The public beef is newborn. It's in its infancy. So maybe he's talking to that, like our disconnect. Maybe all those other years they were connected, they were together. Now there's a disconnect. I'm talking to this relationship, how I commend defense. You believe me? You with me, GJ? No?
No, I don't believe it. I don't. I'm not buying it.
You want ice cream, huh?
Acho, I'm all in on what you're talking about, man. And I believe, Marcellus, you are too. There's nothing else that really needs to be said. It is what it is. He's going to play this year out. He won't be a Green Bay Packer, and that's just that.
That's that. Yeah, you're right. All right, no ice cream, kids. Coming up, LeBron's back at critics of the Lakers' new roster. We'll tell you if he needed to send a message. Next on Speak for Yourself. Lost that case, huh? Yep.
Well, let's get to the Lakers, because they'll definitely need name tags when they're back together again, since they completely overhauled their roster. Several players, including Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwight Howard, are coming to L.A., but the moves have come with criticism, since the Lakers' average age is older than me, at 31 years of age, the highest in the league. Now, LeBron clapped back at his critics, then deleted this tweet. He said, quote, "Keep talking about my squad, our personal ages, the way he plays, he stays injured, we're past our times in the league, etc., etc., etc. Do me one favor, please, and I mean please, keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. Hashtag, thank you, King." We got to bring in a king in his own right. That's Slick Rick, the king of NBA analysis. Slick Rick the Buka. Did LeBron need to send a message to the critics of the new look Lakers?
No, he did not, and he apparently agrees with us because he decided to delete it. Like, on second thought, I really don't need to send that. Do I? But here's the thing. It's not that he sent a message. It's the message that he sent. I have no issue with LeBron James saying, watch us, or like expressing any sort of confidence or faith in terms of what his team is and what it's capable of doing. But he didn't do that. He challenged all these things that are fact-based. They are old. They are injury prone, or AD is injury prone. Like, there are all kinds of reasons. They are arguably all past their prime. So why are you, it's not that he challenged it, it's what he challenged and how he challenged it. And it's also got this sort of passive-aggressive persecution complex thing. I mean, Dr. Phil or some sort of psychiatrist would have a field day looking at LeBron's social media posts over the years and figuring out exactly where they come from and what inspires them at any given time. But there's this idea like, yeah, please, would you please keep talking bad about us? Do not stop talking bad about us. And I just hope that you will continue to talk bad about us as we get to the regular season and all this starts. And it's kind of hypocritical because he's asking us all to maintain this energy, which is essentially our job in terms of assessing what's going on and speaking on it and critiquing. He's asking us to keep that energy, and then 5 minutes later, he can't keep his own energy when it comes to challenging us to keep the energy. Like, what are we doing here? Come on, brother. Like, if you want that from me, then you keep that energy too. It was like, yeah, you keep that. Okay, where'd he go? Where did he go? And here's the thing. In reality, you know, this is. LeBron has been the face of the league, best player, all of that stuff. There comes a responsibility in terms of consistency, because how you are when you're the face of something bigger than you are a reflection of that entire industry or that entity. And that's where when LeBron kind of zigs and zags and he seesaws and he flip-flops and he does all of that, it doesn't just affect how we look at him. It affects how we look at the league as a whole. And that's where I think that he does a disservice to himself and to the league, because he carries, I think, Acho, you said it, with with great power comes great responsibility. I don't get the sense that LeBron always respects that fact.
Nah, I'm with you, Slick. Got to the dance floor, you're like, where'd she go? Like he just told us to come out there, let's dance, and now we get out there, where's our partner? Because he understands this about the media, because he has his own production company. Like, we hold the microphone, so we always gonna talk. Something is amplifying our voices, so you're gonna hear it. But when we're speaking facts, don't argue back, because then all you're doing is hitting your head against the wall. And we're going to get the last word. So I think he deleted it, hoping that it would go away. But you can't do that in this society, in this world today. It's a screenshot. It's already caught forever and eternity. I want to say this to LeBron, because I know that sending this out and trying to dispute facts maybe felt good for about 5 minutes. I want to remind him that negativity as fuel doesn't have the highest octane. Positivity does. Just like fear doesn't have the highest octane. Faith does. But a lot of people think, because Michael Jordan went up there and was talking about his high school coach, that, if you hate something, you could be as great as Jordan. Yeah, but maybe if Jordan would have got a different octane, we could have even seen more out of Mike in the experience. Maybe we didn't see the retirement once or twice. I don't know. Point being, let's stop doing this, which is stopping down for negativity, beating your head against the wall, when none of this is in the path of your success, in the path of what you're trying to attain as a goal. LeBron James is in August trying to tell us that his team ain't old and that they will win a championship next June. Okay, well, wait, because there are teams that are older than you, LeBron James, that have won championships. I keep giving you this. Here's a list of 7 of them that were older than the Lakers are this year that won a championship. His 2013 Heat team. Chicago Bulls did it in their back-to-back-to-back years, 96 through 98. The Spurs did it, 07. 2011 Mavs, they did it. And the 03 Spurs. The point being is, LeBron, who cares how old y'all are? We just want to see y'all ball out. But we can't see you ball out in August, so why you even tweeting and deleting?
Here's the thing, though. I, gentlemen, don't have an issue with LeBron stopping down, if you will. I don't have an issue with the reply. My greater issue comes with the deletion of the reply. Slick, early on in the show, we had this conversation, and I was like, wait a second. We applaud KD, Marcellus does, when KD stops down and when KD shoots back. But now when LeBron stops down, why do we draw an issue with LeBron stopping down? He human too, just like KD is. The difference is KD knows who he is. He understands. He's just going to stand in that villain role. LeBron James, you're not a villain. You've chosen to be the hero. That's how you live your life. That's who you are embodied as. So you don't have the luxury of having that villain come out at any point in time. It might be in there, but you have to conceal it. That is where my issue lies, Slick. Not with LeBron stopping down and shooting at somebody. It's just, LeBron, you've chosen to be this person. So whenever that other person wants to come out, you have to suppress who that other person is, because that's not who LeBron James has made the claim he is to be.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, because I remember him putting on the black hat and being the bad guy, or portraying himself as the bad guy in Miami at one point after, I believe it was after the first year. And it just didn't fit. I mean, I knew what he was trying to capture. I mean, the Kobe Bryant being the Black Mamba, like, his personality fits with that. That's not who inherently I feel like LeBron is. But this also gets to, when we compare LeBron to KD to Steph Curry to Kobe, to Michael, this is the distinction that I find with KD and LeBron, is they keep trying to win these battles with the critics about who they are and what they've accomplished or what they are going to accomplish. And the distinction that I saw with Jordan first, Kobe next, and Steph Curry now is that they don't answer the critics. They don't try to wage these wars. They want to show you who they are. You know, there's a lot of fans out there who believe that Steph Curry doesn't deserve to be in the same circle as LeBron and KD, as if Steph Curry has suggested himself that he deserves to be there. He's never stepped into that arena. He's never tried to engage in that. Is he trying to win as many championships as possible? Yes. Is he trying to beat those guys? Yes. Is he trying to prove that he's a great player? Yes. But it's never been within Steph's circumference that he wants to prove he's the best player in the league. And there are times where I get this sense, as a result of this tweet by LeBron and some of the things that KD will do or say, that they're waging this battle against this invisible enemy out there that they think sees them in a different way or a different light than they deserve to be seen. And you know that I'm going to come back at you. And it's like, it's not a winnable war, and it's beneath you because of what your status already is in the game.
Thank you. And LeBron knows that better than both of us. It's a never-winning, never-ending battle to go out there and talk to the proverbial they, whoever they are. Because in life, there's always something against you. There's always resistance. Every athlete knows, even from the tiny mite level, there's cheers and there's boos. No matter where you go, there you are. So it's amazing, like, as you climb in this world, you realize there's resistance. There's atmospheric pressure that is pushing against you. Do you argue with the air? Do you sit there when you're running and there's wind against you? Do you stop down and argue with the wind? Like, that's what this looks like to me when I see LeBron, who is climbing to heights that you need binoculars, maybe a telescope to see. And then he's just up there. Instead of being happy in his glory, he's just yelling at the air, just yelling at the wind. Come on, Bron, do better. Coming up, an Olympic legend called the U.S. relay team not qualifying for the final. And embarrassment. We'll tell you how disappointing it really was. Next on Speak for Yourself. Saturday on FS1, NL East rivals are at it again as the Mets battle the Phillies. Then the Diamondbacks take on the Padres. It's an MLB doubleheader beginning Saturday, 3 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Speaking of Mets Phillies, David Ortiz, Big Papi, is putting his money on the line on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Free to play, so scan the QR code below, download the app, answer 6 questions about Saturday's Mets-Phillies game for your chance to win $1,000 of Big Papi's money. Ooh, his golf tournament was epic. Let's get back to Tokyo, where the U.S. 4x100 relay team came in as a favorite, but it did not end on a positive note. They finished 6 in their preliminary heat and failed to make the final. Olympic legend Carl Lewis, my man, the GOAT, called out the relay team, tweeting, quote, the USA team did everything wrong in the men's relay. The passing system is wrong. Athletes running the wrong legs. And it was clear that there was no leadership. It was a total embarrassment and completely unacceptable for a USA team to look worse than the AAU team and kids I saw. Ooh, Macho, how big of a disappointment is this?
I'm gonna wait for the camera.
I'm gonna wait for that thing to get in here.
I'll wait for you. I'm waiting for you right there. This is probably the biggest disappointment in sports in the last 5 or so years. Let me contextualize this. You understand track. You all at home, some talk like they know track, but they do not. The U.S., the 4x100 meter men's did not even make it into the finals. Now, to give this context, the U.S. has the fastest 100-meter runner in the world in Trayvon Bromell. It has the 3rd fastest 100-meter runner in the world in Ronnie Baker. It has the 5th fastest 100-meter runner in the world in Fred Curley. And it did not make it to the finals in an event which comprises 4 individuals and has 3 of the top 5 fastest in the world. Context. The NBA USA Olympic team does not even have the top 5 players in the world because Luka's not playing for the U.S. team. The Joker's not playing for the U.S. team. Embiid is not playing for the U.S. team. Giannis is not playing for the U.S. team. So to give you all context, imagine just how dominant the men's 100-meter team, 4x1 team is, and it did not make the final.
Okay.
The huge disappointment. So I compare this to Logan Paul knocking out Floyd Mayweather.
All right.
That is the level of disappointment that we just witnessed. I just don't think those at home actually understand the context of it all. Stella, if you have 3 of the top 5 fastest individuals, and it's only 4 individuals in the event.
3 of the top 5.
How you don't even make it to the final. Now, there are levels and layers to why it happened, and we'll dive into the levels and dive into the layers later, because I don't put it on the athletes. Put it on these coaches. I put it on USA Track and Field. I'm going to get to that later, Sal. You go ahead, sir.
Oh, man, we're about to fight up in here.
Swear.
Okay.
You going to go easy? You the hardest critic, and you got to go easy?
No.
Mr. Track and Field?
No, you know me. My best friend is Truth. And I'm going to tell the truth up here. I'm going to go hard at you because I couldn't believe you just said what you said.
Oh, let me unbutton.
How big of a... Yeah, unbutton, homie. How big of a disappointment? Okay. To the general public, To the Americans out there using their arrogance as if we got the fastest guys, we should win.
Duh.
To those who are ignorant of the sport of track, which I didn't think you were, but
where you going?
We'll challenge this.
We going to fight.
This was a huge disappointment.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes. How is it not?
But to track purists and those who know the sport,
How
and
is
more
it not?
importantly, know the Americans in the 4x100
Okay,
relay.
I understand where you're going.
You see how he laxed up?
No, I see where you're going.
Back in camera.
I see where
you see
you're
how
going.
he laxed up?
I see where you're going. Go ahead. Say the nonsense you about to say. Drop baton.
This ain't no surprise. Let's just say that.
Fair.
I'm a purist, man. I ran track. I love track. Track's my favorite sport. Y'all ain't about to fool me. I didn't walk into this event thinking we were going to win it. I hope you didn't. Let me tell you why. Just like I tell my son every time he doesn't pass the ball in basketball, soccer, anything, I always stop him down when he's finished. I say, you know what the fastest thing on the field is? He's like, what, Daddy? The ball. Just like in track, you know what the fastest thing is on a relay team? The baton. And if that baton ain't moving, y'all ain't going nowhere. I don't give a damn. People like you think it's the athletes.
Nope.
Oh, we got him.
Nope.
But if you only practice 2 days before the event, Acho, they only practice 2 days before the event.
I know, we're going to get there.
Oh, we're going to get there?
I'm going to get news for these jabs.
Why would you ever think y'all going to go out there and beat teams that got fast guys who are the same guys for years and years in the same order, practicing all the time? My last point is this.
Get to your last point, because I'm ready.
Now you're ready. I thought you started off ready. My last point is this. You get out what you put in.
Fair.
And you want to talk context, but you were saying it like an authoritarian. Let me give you context. You got the number 1, number 3, number 5, Let me give you context.
What's context?
The Americans, did they make the final this year? No. Baton, running up on each other, whatever you want to say, right? Did they make it in 2016?
DQ.
No, DQ, baton. Oh, I told you that thing be moving. If it ain't, y'all ain't going nowhere. What happened in 2012? Did they win it all?
Test positive, I believe.
No, silver. Let me tell you, 2008, did they win it all? No, they didn't even make the final again, baton. Let's go 2004. Did they win it all? No.
Sell.
Thank you. My point is context matters. If you know track, you got to know how to act. And they ain't supposed to be winning no 4x1s.
Just because you're not surprised doesn't mean you can't be disappointed.
Why? It's based on expectations. They haven't won the
Here's
gold
the thing,
since 2000.
Sal. From 1991 until 1998, we was like, the Bulls is finna win these chips. Us as fans and players in the league. But you want to know what happened? The second Michael Jordan stepped away from basketball, Akeem said, you know what? We better get these in case he comes back.
Okay.
The second Usain Bolt stepped away from track, the USA should have said, we better get these before some down in Jamaica comes back. So in 08, we lost. Usain Bolt and them won. In 12, we lost. Usain Bolt and them won. In 16, we lost. Usain Bolt and them won. Usain Bolt is not here anymore. When Michael Jordan was not present, Akeem said, I'ma steal these, because when Cuz comes back, it's a wrap for your boy. The USA should have said, I'ma steal these, because if somebody comes back, it's a wrap for your boys. Now, you are correct in saying the problem I do not put on the athletes. Typically, there's a training camp. Most of y'all know this, Sal. I know you know this. Typically, there's a training camp 2 weeks before the Olympic trials, a relay camp.
I'm listening.
And in that relay camp, they get to work on things, work on exchanges, etc. We didn't have that this year. So instead, you had a bunch of athletes going out there blind. USA Track and Field, I'm disappointed in y'all. And why am I disappointed in y'all?
Why?
Because if you don't have a relay camp, whereas other countries have relay camps, there is no practice. You can't practice the individuals during the course of the Olympics because they're selfishly worried about their individual event. Trayvon Bromell, he worried about the 100. Ronnie worried about the 100. Curly worried about the 100. Noah Lyles worried about the 200. So they got to worry about what they got to worry about. They ain't got time to practice these team events. The individual athletes worried about the individual events. So I blame and am disappointed in USA Track and Field. I'm not going to lower my standard because they haven't met the bar prior.
Oh, prior? Since 2000? It's been 21 years. You still thinking Jordan gonna walk through them doors? Ain't nobody on our team. It's not about your team speed. I set a national record in the relay. Let me tell you, we didn't have the 4 fastest dudes in the country. They had one, me, and they had another dude who was probably faster than me, but didn't run the same events. The other 2 were good to great. But you know what we did? We knew what we had to do in terms of exchange zone, in terms of the baton moving. You just got to make sure that you're not losing time on the clock. Let me say this. What your argument is, why we're here. My argument is, we've been here. We've been here since 2000. wasn't. We have not won gold. We got stripped of silver in 2012. Will you stop at this? Here's the thing. Let me tell you what's really wrong. Before we get to Team USA and the Olympic Committee and what's wrong. Practice. You got to practice, dog. 2 days. Stop.
You got to.
Handoffs. You can't run up on each other. You got to get the exchange zones right. Why people get the handoffs wrong in the sprint relay? It's simple. It takes too much work to practice. The mile relay, you go like this. Give me the stick. We can do that in 2 days. The sprint relay is, hey, bro, get your tape out. Put your marks down. I'm going to run as fast as I can about 50 times, and you got to make sure you get this baton. These dudes ain't signing up for another event 2 days before the event they are, but they're not trying to do all that extracurricular. It shows up. Let me give you this. The dudes actually ran slow. I didn't get splits. They look slow.
They ran slow.
They look slow. Yep. Like, I'm going to be real. You know why they ran slow? Because they were out of order. Your anchor leg ain't got to be your fastest. Gillespie ain't got to be the fastest, but he can't be your slowest. And more importantly, he has to be your eraser. Anchor leg is up here, bruh. It ain't just he's fast. It's because he knows what he has to do in this last stretch, because I'm the last line of offense, not the last line of defense. I'm the last line of offense. I got to close the gap. When he got the baton, I'm like, he ain't got it. He ain't got it. And this is no shot at him.
No, not at all.
Versus the other three,
of course.
He shouldn't have been the anchor. If anything, throw Curly there, but Curly been running the second leg.
For a couple reasons. And so, this is Track and Field Live, y'all.
I'm sorry.
We dropping stuff. We out here making noise. We making reckless issues. Here's the thing, though, Steph. The anchor leg hadn't even run all week because the other three athletes had at least run in the open 100.
At least something.
So at least they had run since the Olympics had started. Cravon hadn't even run since the Olympic trials a month prior. But I'm so disappointed because I understand if you want to set a world record, the baton cannot stop moving. When y'all watch the track, don't even watch the athletes running. Just watch the baton. If the baton slows down, then they are not running maximally. But the Jamaicans didn't have perfect exchanges when Usain Bolt was running. In all honesty, watch China if you want to see the swiftest of exchanges. Watch Japan if you want to see swift exchanges. But Jamaica wasn't losing to China in 8, 12, and 16. So a swift exchange can help you excel. But even if we have bad exchanges, our exchanges shouldn't be so atrocious that we can't get out of the first round, the qualifying round. If you have 3 of the top 5 fastest individuals in the world, and there are only 4 individuals that make up the relay, and 75% of your relay is the top 5 fastest in the world, I need to see you make the finals, sir.
Time out. You keep saying we had 3 of the top 5 fastest. We did in time, but did we have them at that time?
That's a bar. That's real.
Brumell, what medal?
I didn't want to do that. I
have to do my job.
Okay,
he had the fastest time all year. I thought he was going to win. I would have bet the house. I'll be homeless right now. He did not show up for whatever reason. So you have the time, but did you peak too early? Whatever it may be. I'm not blaming any one of these guys. I'm saying that them as a collective were put in the wrong positions, wrong order, and therefore they didn't run the proper races. And if you're not familiar with each other, if you don't know the unspoken language of, hey, I know what this guy wants. I know where I want to place the baton. Some people want the baton placed certain places. Some people want you to attempt to run up on them so they can be scared and take off. It's so many little intricacies that you learn if you practice more than 2 days. The Olympic team comes out and says that. It just was a conundrum of issues to me.
Let me emphasize why I'm so upset.
You seem
because
upset
some
like
people
me.
are just like, why do you care? Y'all got to understand. This life or death for some people, at least as far as food on their tables. Like, imagine your favorite team going to a Super Bowl as a favorite and getting blown out 99-0. That's what the great Carl Lewis said. That's what he said he witnessed. This is life or death for some people. If you win a gold medal, you get an instantaneous $25,000 bonus from USA Track and Field. Then you have your bonuses that come from your contract, whether it be Nike, whether it be New Balance, Adidas, or Puma. Could be anywhere from another $5,000 to $10,000 to $25,000. So these individual athletes not only lost roughly $40,000 to $60,000, but they also lost having a gold medal. Whenever you get introduced, talk to a Super Bowl champion. Super Bowl champion, Greg Jennings. Emmy Award winner, so-and-so. Academy Award winner, Matthew McConaughey. Gold medalist, so-and-so. You just lost the title that was going to prelude you for the rest of time. And why did you lose it?
Well,
because of a lack of coaching, because of a lack of preparation, because of a lack of execution. If you truly understand the sport, and I understand what you're saying about the history of the sport.
Come on, man.
But if you truly understand the sport, you understand that this men's 100 team is more dominant based off talent compared to the field than the American basketball team based off talent compared to the field.
Yeah.
Our basketball team is about to play for a gold medal. Our track and field men's team couldn't even get out of the qualifying round. That's why I'm hot.
You acting like our American sprint relay team is like China in diving, where it don't even show up. This ain't that. This is an American sprint relay team that hasn't medaled in the event,
But it
since
should be.
2004.
I should be.
I
Don't
love
even
your
show
should.
up.
But you know what's funny? You always talking about talent, except when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, and all of a sudden talent don't matter. But now,
That was my take, though, Sam.
No. But you're showing your American arrogance that I knew you had. And you were talking about, we should be. Hey, bro, I don't give a damn how fast and how talented y'all are individually. That's why it's a relay. We used to have relay runoffs, and the relay runoff was the 4 fastest, right? Plan A is Team A, top 4. The second, 5th through 8th is Team B. Now we get out there, and while we're going through cities and regionals and states, if you can't get the relay exchanges done, guess what? You are no longer on the Team A. You drop down. We only practice for 2 days. We don't know who can exchange or not. We just going off of what they ran in January as terms of their fastest time. That's not how you optimize a relay. So we have a systemic issue with our sprint relay team. But your expectations are absurd because it's been like this for 20 years.
My dog, you turned around and you handed the ball to me to running back for my last take because I forgot about my issue. Why does the USA men's relay team or relay teams in general have a systemic issue? Oh, I'm about to blow y'all's mind with this one. Because after 2016, USA Track and Field, they made a rule for who could coach, the athletes. Because of conflicts of interest, you cannot be a college coach. The relay coach cannot be a college coach, so you can't be a current college head coach. And because of conflict of interest, the relay coach can also not coach any current athletes that are qualifying.
Whoa.
It would be like the NBA saying no college coach can coach, nor can any NBA coach coach. So Popovich, you can't coach. Because in the event there's a Spurs player on the roster, we don't want you to have favoritism and choose to start the Spurs player over potentially best player. So USA Track and Field has eliminated college coaches from coaching and has also eliminated any coach that coaches current athletes from being the relay coach. So now you have coaches that are in position set up to fail because they're not coaching any of the athletes that are actually out there competing. So the systemic issue falls with track and field. We don't necessarily care about it as America because we don't care about track. But if we ever see this in basketball, we'd be like, huh? What they doing over there? Anyway, Sel, I'm hot, and I'm going to be hot until the Olympics end. Coming up, should the Patriots have confidence in Cam Newton in his second go-round? We going to answer that one next, y'all. I'm still heated. I already knew we were going to stink up the joint, as they say. Cam Newton is running it back for a second season in New England. And it sounds like he is more comfortable with the system. Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels said, quote, he just knows much more about what we're doing. It's a lot less new learning every day. More repetition of things he already understands. So, Sel, now that we've calmed down from our track and field.
Man.
Should the Patriots have faith in Cam Newton entering year 2?
Absolutely. I'm glad that Josh Daniels is saying the same thing that I've said about his system, Bill Belichick's system. It's a sit or suck system in year 1. Either you sit your butt down or you're going to suck. Well, you think that Cam Newton sucked. I didn't think he did so bad, but it's good to know that he's going to rebound, and Josh McDaniels believes that as well. I can give you some numbers right now on Tom Brady in his year 1 versus year 2 comparison. And then you're going to see some leaps and you're going to see some jumps as well. But he didn't even start his first year. He was on the bench because, you know, they had the $100 million man in Drew Bledsoe, who you tried to shame one time. I won't let that fly on this show. But in all respects and all seriousness, Cam Newton is Cam Newton. Cam Newton from Florida to JUCO to Auburn to the NFL has always responded, Acho. Always rebounded. Like, he's too superstar in nature and talent and in resume to stay down. So this is a guy who's going to respond because, one, he's not going to be thinking through the plays. He's going to be responding, reacting. He's going to be going off of instinct this year. Last year, it's all upstairs, and you've been there before. You talk about first-year quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, and the processor, how it's slower in the first year. Well, Cam Newton is no different in that system, the most complex offensive system we have in NFL. So I'm with Josh. Yeah, we're going to see a better Cam Newton because he's a superstar who's going to get another shot at it.
Yeah, the Patriots should absolutely have faith in Cam Newton entering year 2. They should. I don't know why you're smiling, Sal. The Patriots need to have faith in Cam Newton. Sal, I know you grew up in the church. You know me. I'm a Bible-believing man. Based upon a biblical definition from Hebrews, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So the Patriots, they got no choice but to have faith in Cam Newton because they hope he good, and they ain't seen him be good. So they got faith.
You still go to church? It don't sound like it.
Love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor. What the hell wrong with you?
They ain't got no other thing.
Oh, God.
So I'll say it like this.
What?
Show starts at 12. Our show starts at 12. It's amazing. I love doing the show with you every now and then. More so now than then, but I love doing the show with you. At about 11:56, I'm sitting here on the set and doing my vocal warm-ups. I'm going through my process. I'm jamming some Afro beats. 11:57, I have faith Marcellus Wiley will be here. I have faith he'll be here. I am not sure, but I have faith he will be here. But still, by 12, when you read in the opening of the A block, I don't have to have faith because I've seen it.
You've seen it.
It's here.
Oh.
See, I got faith when I'm about to sit into the chair that it will hold me up. But when I'm sitting in the chair, I don't have to have faith anymore because I'm doing it. The Patriots have to have faith in Cam Newton because they haven't seen it. It's like me at 11:56. I'm hoping Sal will show up. But by 12:01, I don't need faith anymore because my faith is now my eyes. So the Patriots have to have faith. They'd rather their faith be their eyes, but until their faith is their eyes, all they can hope on is this evidence of things that is not seen.
Man, you got me. I'm in the corner. I'm boxed in right now. Few of the homies, you from the other side, and I used to be at the other side. Then you came over here, and a few of the homies hit me. Chirp, chirp. Hey, Wiley, look out for your boy. He like the dry snitch. Now I'm gonna let him know. Chirp, chirp. He like the wet snitch too. Boy, you up here telling my bag. I do come right before the show starts. Right. I ain't got no dead time. That's real. That comes from the NFL, actually. We used to have 8 o'clock meetings. I swear, I was a rookie. I was ready to be there at 7 o'clock, Tom Coughlin style. I show up. It's 7:50. Nobody's there.
Bruh.
I come back 7:55. My old rookie with an apple for the coach. No one's there. 7:57. No one's there. 7:59. No one's there. I was like, then all of a sudden, right before 8 o'clock, whoa, everybody running into the room, right? So that's how I'm conditioned. Point being with this situation here, I don't like what you said in terms of only faith. As we go, let's go back to the Bible. Faith without action is death.
Yes,
they
sir.
saw some action. He's not dead. He would be dead if it was just faith because they didn't see action. Last year, 21 touchdowns. You act like he just come to you, like as soon as you walk on the field. Here's a touchdown for you. You get a touchdown. That's you and Oprah. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. That's your friend. Cam Newton earned those touchdowns. Only 10 interceptions. You never highlight that. You never talk about that. He has some turnovers too, but I ain't gonna add to that. The point being, Cam Newton did more than they expected with what they gave him, which was a depleted roster in terms of personnel and in terms of assets, to the tune of why Tom Brady left there after 20 years. Cam Newton's going to be just fine. Faith, action, no death.
The other reason I genuinely do think you should have faith in Cam Newton, what other option do you have? And I don't mean literally in Mac Jones, but you put a player on the football field because you believe that player can play the game of football. You gave Cam Newton roughly $13 or $14 million because you believe he can play the game of football. So how dare you undermine Cam Newton like the 49ers are actually doing with Jimmy G by not having faith in the individual? I'm going to end my lap and end my take like this, Sel. I believe that a lot of 95% of players in the NFL are NFL talented. Right? There's 5% that you kind of like, how do you make it into the league? But 95% are NFL talented. What separates one from the other is their confidence. Straight up and down, what separates an individual from another is their confidence.
Let's go.
I'm going to give you this story. I'll give it in a TED Talk one day, but I give it to y'all right now.
Oh, TED Talk?
2013 was my first year in Philly. I think it was 13. Odell Beckham comes into the league. It's either 13 or 14. I don't remember. I'm playing on Philly. He's playing on the Giants. We play Odell Beckham, I want to say week 8. And by week 8, Odell Beckham had 2 catches for 13 yards. We played Odell Beckham again week 17, the last game of the season. He had 13 catches, 177 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Nothing changed. Eli Manning still throwing him the ball. Same offensive coordinator, same offensive line, same head coach. What was the difference? Between week 8 and week 17, Odell Beckham made the catch. The three-finger catch. After Odell Beckham made the catch, he became a different individual because he had faith in himself and the Giants had faith in him. Cam Newton, if you do have that kind of faith, you're going to see that same Cam Newton we're used to. Coming up, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning had a legendary rivalry. But we'll tell you our favorite rivalry of all time. Next, Speak Player.
Hello. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning had one of the biggest rivalries in sports history. But reports say Brady will attend Manning's Hall of Fame induction ceremony this weekend. Brady had an 11-6 record against the Hall of Famer. So this got us thinking about other classic rivalries between athletes. So, Acho, what is your favorite all-time player versus player rivalry?
Okay, first I'm going to go with extremely high-hanging fruit, the highest of hanging fruit in time. You would have had to remember, you would have played against him. Aaron Brooks, Saints quarterback.
Yeah, Saints corner.
Saints quarterback.
Quarterback?
Quarterback.
Aaron Brooks, okay.
Yes, from 2001 to 2006.
Why are we talking about him? What happened?
We're talking about him because he was cousins with Mike Vick. When Mike Vick was starting quarterback for the Falcons.
Okay.
Falcons versus Saints. They were going up, cousin versus cousin. I love that because 2001, that's when I was first falling in love with the game based on the game of Madden.
You said high versus high?
The highest hanging fruit.
That's the highest?
Highest hanging fruit meaning like ain't nobody thinking about that.
Nobody thinking, oh, okay.
Yes. Like low hanging fruit is to say Peyton versus Tom Brady. High hanging fruit is like, yo, did he just really bring up Aaron Brooks?
Yeah,
He did.
Okay.
Now let me just go some moderately hanging fruit and I'll get to my answer very quickly. Ali Frazier. Ali Frazier is my favorite rivalry. Remember, they had a three-peat. They had the, what was it, the Rumbling? They had the Thriller in Manila. Thriller in Manila was the very last one. They had the Fight of the Century, which was the first one, and then they had the Super Fight, which was the second one. It ends up Ali winning 2-1, but I remember it goes 15 rounds. The only time anyone ever got knocked down was the first fight. I believe it was Frazier knocks down Ali in round 15. Frazier takes the first one. Ali takes the second one. Ali takes the third one. Thriller in Manila was seen by 1 billion people.
Like a Michael Jackson concert.
1 billion people globally. We watch a Super Bowl and we see, oh my God, 27 million viewers, 50 million viewers. 1 billion people watched this rivalry. Amazing. That's my favorite one.
That's your favorite one? It ain't your favorite one. Anytime somebody got to go study and Wikipedia to get
I knew that one. I never studied.
You wasn't even born. That ain't you a billion people. You wasn't a billion. You wasn't one of the billion. I ain't doing that. I'm talking about something that hit me, that hurt me.
What hit you, Sal?
You talking about, get out the tree, first of all. Forget the fruit. Get out the tree. You talking about high hanging, low hanging, moderate hanging. Let's talk real. Something that made you jump off the couch and say, whoa, I want to do that.
Where you going?
And then I didn't want to do that. Okay, so I got a runner-up. Young Tony Baselli, you remember him? See, this is my high-hanging fruit for you. And Bruce Smith. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all need to go YouTube that. Woo! I was behind Bruce Smith, and I was like, I do not want to play this game. I do not want to play against that guy. But then there was one that I used to watch, and I was like, I saw the tension. I saw the resistance. I saw the will. I saw the toughness. Michael Strahan versus John Runyon.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
If you ever want to see something go hard, watch Strahan, Hall of Famer, and Runyon.
Hall of Famer too, right?
No. I mean, he's in the Eagles anniversary team and all that. But he, was a beast. I played against him a few times. His arm's so long, he used to slap me upside the head. Got him a couple times, I don't know. Here's the thing. This rivalry used to make me just sit there and say, I played the position. This is at the highest form. This is the Van der Glum, the Clem. Like, I was sitting there like, this is how you play football at these positions. It was amazing to watch. Do we have any traditional mainstream ones, normal ones? No? All right, whatever. Go back to Wikipedia. Coming up, football's back tonight with the Cowboys and Steelers. We're excited. You should be excited, too. More Speak for Yourself is next. Woo! What else? Babe Ruth's first home run?
It's officially football season, baby. The Cowboys and Steelers will get the NFL preseason started tonight in the Hall of Fame game on Fox. Both teams have a lot to prove after last season, and it all starts tonight. Sal, how excited are you about football being back?
Well, you know when I get hyped, okay, let me stop. Football's back. Real football is back. And then I can't wait. I'm going to look forward to this game, but Cowboys, Buccaneers, week 1. What else I got here? Browns and Chiefs? It's going down. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow.